we're on to item 8, approval of board policy 460 and administrative reg 460 regarding the local control accountability plan. It's a first reading.
Yes, these are, we got these from CSBA, from the Gamma Online. We're required to have board policies and ARs in relation to the LCAP, and they're pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's very
All districts are adding these board policies to their list of policies and ARs.
I perused them.
I read the policy, board
I-
policy.
I actually have some edits to them, and I was on the phone today with the ED of CSBA and AXA.
Uh-huh.
So I should have mentioned my edits to Fern and Billy.
We can certainly incorporate them.
Yeah, I mean, and we're
And it's the first reading too, so
yeah, let me,
perfect.
right. So, just trying to find the specific thing, but while this is slowly pulling it up, it talks about goals in some places and not specific actions, or goals and actions but not expenditures, and that the LCAP is supposed to have all three, right? And that's I kind of know, they kind of wrote this from the statute, but it's got a little more fleshed out with the regulations that the state board adopted, so they made it even clearer that your LCAP, you have your goals, that's section 2, and then you've got your specific actions to achieve those goals, and the expenditures to, fund those specific actions, so those are in section 3. And so it was just a language thing that some places they didn't fully capture what really the LCAP needs. And specifically,
And we're in the board policy?
yeah, under board policy, page 2, there is a paragraph on notifying the community, and then a paragraph on holding a hearing. And that was it. It was the inverse. It doesn't mention goals. It just says notify the community about actions and expenditures, and hold a hearing on actions and expenditures. But I think we want to hear from the community on goals also, right? On goals, actions, and expenditures. I mean, if they disagree with the goal, why are we arguing about the dollar amount when...
Don't understand what the reason
Right,
behind
Okay,
it.
makes sense.
right. So is that clear?
Yes, I have that
Are
one.
you following where that is?
Sure.
So just add
Specific goals, actions, and
regarding
expenditures.
written opportunity, notify members of the opportunity to submit written comments regarding the
In both
goals,
paragraphs.
comma, insert goals, comma, specific actions.
And in the second paragraph as well, with the public hearing,
Correct,
in both, yeah.
correct. And then the other question I had on that page was under the number 1 there, in terms of the content of the Parent Advisory Committee, including at least one parent guardian of unduplicated pupils, unduplicated students. This seemed kind of like,
Just one.
we're in a district
Right.
with
Such a
really at least
cluster.
74%, unduplicated, that like to have only, and arguably 3/4 of the committee should be parents of it, but
But this, if one fits all, so I guess you're saying if we should make a deliberate attempt to increase that number?
yeah, and I think that was kind of the way I was going, is instead of trying to hit some proportionality target, because we don't always see a high degree of, parent
Yeah.
engagement. Hopefully, we're changing that. We should at least have a parent of or the staff should make an effort to have a parent of a foster youth and a parent of an EL, and a parent of a low-income student
So I
at
wonder.
a minimum on that committee.
So I guess the only thing though is if we put it in policy and it seems like it's probably more direction, or maybe it's a AR, because then
So
we'll
the
be bound to-
yeah, my recommendation would be that the district staff should make an effort to
Yeah.
include,
Yeah.
so it,
So, like, is there, I mean, well, I'm just curious. I don't remember seeing that specific one in the AR, but it sounds like it would be great to put in there to be more directive. You know what I mean? To
Mhm.
make the effort to do it. to
You're right,
kinda
I
call it
don't-
out.
Well, I would take out, the, at least one altogether,
mm,
and just make it, a parent advisory committee should include parents of unduplicated students, and you can put foster parents and yada, yada, yada in there.
what about at least one foster parent, parent of an EL,
Call it out.
So
and low income? So I agree with you, that's a good edit.
I would just take the
That-
one out and add all those other
So,
elements in.
I
But-
would just throw back to you guys the conversation we had earlier about people not necessarily in families. It's a cultural thing for sure. Being identified as, but you know it, and so
Mhm.
then you kind of, I mean, right now we have the
That's a good
30%
point.
number, and you have the whole point that Ms. Hunley brought up too in the wellness presentation, and what Ms. Allen kind of alluded to, that people don't necessarily put themselves in line for the support and services as would be under foster, but they
Mhm.
are in fact foster families. So,
Mhm.
I mean, that's the only thing. I think it's that same point where the policy is that, but how to drive home the point in terms of the AR might be a way to do it, to capture, it'd be important for you to reach out and seek even those who are not defined as, but are, I don't know. I mean, it seems like that's where our district is more so. You have a large number of people who are not necessarily, maybe more like 10% who are absolutely in the system, foster system, versus the 30
I
who's
think they
broader.
said it was like a handful.
Right?
you
Even
know,
smaller.
I mean, not,
Yeah.
not like 1%, or
Yeah,
very
yeah.
few are actually in the foster system.
So if it was a way to like identify some, in that 30%, right? To put it in the AR, I'm just throwing it out. I'm just thinking about
Yeah, so,
being sensitive to it.
Just to follow up on it, what I added, I don't know if this does it, but a parent advisory committee, including parent guardians of unduplicated students as defined above, just get rid of at least one. And then district staff shall make every effort to include foster parents and parents of EL and low-income students.
Works
and
too. AR.
Melody was adding the additional thought of, maybe it's like foster parents, including, how
Yeah,
we,
like not,
parent,
that are not like in the system. I don't,
yeah,
put that, but.
guardians,
What they call it?
parents or guardians of pupils who are not
Yeah,
there.
I'm trying to think of the word. I think, was it
Um,
kindreds or kinder? Is that the
Kinder,
the correct name for that, for adults who care
the
for?
staff can work it out, but
Yeah.
we know what we're talking
Okay.
about, yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ask Ms. Dunn how to
How to
define
get that in there.
population of 30% of our
Because we don't want to lose that.
students, right,
We don't want to lose
who
that.
are effectively foster parents, even though they're not
Mhm.
technically, statutorily so defined.
Sounds good. Okay.
Works for me.
Okay,
I'm good.
Okay, we'll have staff work on that.
all right. So let me see, those were two of my comments. Oh, this is a typo. Oh, it's, yeah. So now I'm on to the AR.
Okay.
On the AR?
Yeah, AR. So the title, which is on every page and in the first sentence, adds the word "and" to local control accountability plan. I mean, it's just local control accountability plan. It's not local control and
Oh.
accountability
Ooh,
plan.
Right.
Good
Oh,
old
I see.
CSBA.
Yeah. Did CSBA do that? Yeah.
Oh.
That's CSBA.
Nah, I should have. I'm going to tell Vernon they did that.
Mhm.
LCAA.
Who are these CSBA delegates that got elected? We,
Yeah,
Okay, so
right.
yeah, right. Alphabet
Which,
soup.
well,
Alphabet soup.
yeah.
But it is, you're right. It's in every paragraph
Yep,
start.
every,
so-
every, like, header, and it's,
Yeah.
and I think the only place it's in the text is actually the first
Oh, that first
sentence
one,
on page
okay.
1.
Okay.
Mhm.
KC. Then on page 3 of the AR, where there's, let me see, page 3, I gotta find it. Oh, you know, you did the same, or CSBA did the same thing in the board policy, local control and accountability plan.
they did, oh.
So that's in both the board policy and the AR, I guess.
I think people like acronyms too much, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
Way too much.
I'm sorry, I wait for this to pop up. But there's, do you have the numbering?
Mhm.
Let's see.
You have this.
This is page 3?
Mhm.
Electronically, yeah.
Take this one, take
We have this electronically, so if something gets caught between now and the next reading, we'll be sure to.
Yeah, so the top of page 3, after number 3,
Mhm.
where it's kind of describing
Oh.
what needs to be in the content of the plan, there should be a number 4 that they don't have, which is expenditures. Their content of the LCAP is just saying, list the goals and the actions, but there's no expenditure listing. So I think we should add a number 4 that calls for the listing of expenditures associated with the specific actions.
So then I would change this paragraph to 1 through 3, above it'll be 1 through
Correct.
4.
Right. Well, except that that's about
Speak about
qualitative
the-
information. So I think that can stay 1 to
Okay.
3 above, because you're not gonna, we don't want expenditures
for the
listed
money.
qualitatively.
Be like, well, we think it should be,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're saying right under 3 on page 3, put a number 4?
Correct, add a new number 4 that, what's
Oh,
the
see,
verbiage?
it's right here.
It just says a description of the expenditures. That's the language I would use, a description of the expenditures associated with the specific actions.
Description
So
of
like this,
expenditures,
huh?
I put listing of, okay, description of, okay.
Because I said listing first, but,
That's fine.
yeah.
Great. With
The-
the with
The
specification.
specific actions.
The specific actions identified in number 3.
Yeah, described.
It's like this one, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, that's, the statute kind of has a little technical problem, that it only calls for the expenditures in the annual update, not
And not
the,
in the
not the
initial.
year one. But it's so clearly wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and the state board, like, clearly in the template calls for expenditures from year 1 onward, so that's kind of,
So they follow, like you said, verbatim.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly.
I don't need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those are my points on this. Otherwise, I'm happy to,
Yeah, I'm good.
after public comment, move forward with the adoption of these. Oh, I did have one more question. I don't know if this will be you or Superintendent Sugiyama,
Mhm.
but the statute also makes clear that we need to have a uniform complaint procedure relative to LCAP, LCFF complaints. If someone says, hey, you didn't hold that public hearing, or, almost anything, you didn't calculate proportionality correctly. Is that one of the things you're going to bring us in the future?
It's a coming.
Yes, I believe it is, yeah, that is covered in one of the ones that are coming. There-
Okay.
I think there's
Good.
3 more board policies coming your
Good.
way.
Excellent.
And this is a first reading.
Good point.
So we can,
Yeah,
at
well,
least
we'll,
get
we'll make the
James to get
changes to this for
language
second reading, and then
Yeah.
you'll be getting it.
and give a call to Vernon Billy,
Yeah,
like you said.
we're gonna send these edits to Vernon. Say, fix your gamut online.
Any other questions from board members? Any members of the public, i.e. Mark, would have any comments on this, these two documents? All right, so this entails our first. We'll now move on to a very important topic, review of board candidate